Hey, Steelers Nation, breaking news. We just got Allen Robinson. Should we be excited? Well, let's look at this reality. First off, the Steelers basically did a buy. I mean, this essentially was a free agency signing when we look at what the Steelers actually gave up. We swapped 7th round picks to get what was believed 2 years ago to be a premier number 2 wide receiver. Now, the question is Allen Robinson done and the Steelers just wasted $10 million in cap money, or does he just not a fit with a broken quarterback, which is what Stafford was last year? Robs himself had injury problems. What's going on? What I look at this for in a much broader picture, when we dive into the analytics of this trade, of what does it mean? The Steelers hate to be exposed, period. I believe that this is the introductory point to give insurance to the front office that says, we don't need Diontae anymore. Time to get rid of him. Time to make George Pickens the captain of this offense, at least in the passing game. Because if you expect Robinson to be even a number 3 at this point, you're going to be holding someone else's development back. I've brought down a lot of times in the last couple episodes about how Diontae Johnson's target share is way too high for how little value he gives after the catch. Remember, this is a guy whose average catch is only 7 inches further than his average depth of target, which means he's giving you 7 inches of value. This is not an innuendo joke. That's an on-the-field production. So when the Steelers go out and they get Allen Robinson, a bona fide starter, like everyone can say, this guy has the savvy, he's been around the league. The question is, does he still have the athletic talent? Now, obviously, we're waiting for the physical to come through to make sure that he's still healthy. But in terms of pedigree and all of that, it's not dissimilar trend-wise from what we were getting from Diontae Johnson. Diontae Johnson, much higher production. I know I tell everything about how he doesn't do anything after the catch. Much higher production overall because he catches more balls. Bottom line being, Diontae also doesn't get hurt at the same rate as Allen. I look at this nonetheless as a giant potential indicator saying that Diontae Johnson is not going to be a Steeler in 2 weeks. And to me, as much as I shouldn't be excited to get rid of someone, I am more excited about the potential of what the trade for Diontae will get us. As I said, on this offense, there really isn't a mature veteran out there. Diontae has the longest tenure, but he's still a very young guy. Allen Robinson will become instantly the oldest Steeler, potentially being some of that leadership in the room that we lost with Boykin. At the end of the day, this looks to be a setup to say, we can get rid of Johnson. Kenny, undisputed leader of this offense. You and Najee figure it out. And at the end of the day, let's go make some stuff happen. I am not thrilled about the production that Keenan Allen himself brings to the table. And if you told me opening day, your starting lineup is George Pickens out wide, Muth at tight end, Najee in the backfield, Robinson, and the combination of Austin or some other late round pick that we get, I'm okay with that. Assuming whatever we trade Johnson for is a stud on defense. What I would not be okay for in this scenario is that if we end up trading Johnson as a result of getting Robinson and thinking that it will be an on-the-field balanced swap and we can get a potential guy in exchange for Johnson. The reason I believe that the Johnson trade will be beneficial is because I believe we're going to fix one of our bona fide holes on defense. And it really excites me because all of the rumors of us moving up to the top 10 for either Jalen Carter or Gonzalez just seem that much more real. The episode coming out later today, it's going to be about that. I'm already telling you this. This is kind of a me. I know what I filmed already. I'm kind of taking it off the table. But this is so exciting because the Johnson trade becomes so much more realistic. And it also seems like there's a possibility that we're not going to have to lose as much draft capital in this year's draft for next year's draft. We literally swapped 7-round picks to get a guy who was believed to be the guy. He was believed to take the Rams back to the Super Bowl to replace Odell Beckham after what Beckham did for the Rams in that great Super Bowl run. It did not work in LA for Robinson. There's no way around that. Dude got hurt. Dude's production fell through the floor. Literally nothing to write home about it. He had a $15 million cap hit this year. The Rams are eating a third of it. We're only taking on $10 million, and basically that's our expense of this trade. When you look at that from the Rams' perspective, this looks so Pittsburgh Pirates. Like, we're not spending money. We don't want to. No. Again, it's how the Pirates operate, and the teams normally benefit, Yankees, normally benefit from taking the former Pirates guys. So taking that prism as a pessimistic Pirates fan, there's obviously potential here. And again, it's not like Robinson hasn't produced in the past. It just didn't work with McVay. That being said, McVay's an offensive genius, and he's coming here with someone who's not. So maybe we're able to get some add-on with running a much more basic system might be better for Robinson. But I don't really think that's going to be the true cause. I think the true element here, when we really break down like the autopsy of Robinson's career, when we look at this down the road, will be the injuries in LA, and this is a fresh start for him. And this potentially is the best gold mine setup that Robinson could have. Because Robinson, if Johnson gets moved, if Diontae Johnson gets traded at the draft, Robinson is essentially going to be put back into a number 2 receiving spot where he plays more of a role that is similar to the middle of the field slottish type that Cooper Kupp took in LA. So they were kind of asking him to play out of position. And I get everyone says, oh, wide receivers are wide receivers. Nah, there's a really big difference between playing the middle of the field receiver and playing outside. And Cooper Kupp took the middle of the field option of the Rams offense, and Robinson wasn't really able to do it. Coming here, if the Steelers are sans Diontae, which again, that's my headline of this and what I'm super ecstatic for. We are going to be without Diontae in a week and a half. Is that we now are going to have given Allen a position on the field that will be best for him. And when we break down the actual styles that they play, you guys who have seen me do videos on Johnson know that I get very upset that he just sits in a hole and he doesn't have his feet moving when he catches the ball. While Allen certainly has some of that to his game, Allen has much more keeping his feet moving and getting open naturally. On raw skill set, if we're just watching the two of them healthy, 3 years ago when they both had the best seasons of their career, Allen Robinson's was better. The way that he plays on the field is better. Johnson just had the benefit of everyone forces him the ball because he was 2 inches away from Ben, who didn't want to get hit. But does that mean that we coming in 2023, they're better? Johnson's healthy, Robinson's isn't. So it's a question. Again, both at full health, I believe Robinson will help the Steelers overall more than Johnson. And I believe it will help in a second key factor because he's not the established guy here and Kenny doesn't have to bow to him, if you will. I believe it really, really opens up the target share doors for George Pickens and Pat Freiermuth, which I believe is the pathway for the Steelers to score the most points. Najee, Muth, and Pickens. If the three of them combined are 75% of the ball share or greater, this team will make the playoffs. And the only way that is possible is the Diontae Johnson target share has to diminish. Nothing diminishes more than him being gone. So, long story short, what do I think of the trade for Allen Robinson? Allen Robinson is opening up the potential for trading Diontae Johnson. Diontae Johnson off this team increases our chance of making the playoffs, based upon both the target share that will go to George Pickens and Pat Freiermuth, plus the defensive stud that will result from the trade of Diontae Johnson. Overall, Steelers will let up less points, and because they would be getting more than 7 inches per target that they were getting from Johnson, the offense will improve as well. Give the ball to Pickens, the team will improve. Get rid of Johnson, the team will improve. And it's not even because Allen Robinson's on the team. It's only because the Steelers' policy is never be exposed. Allen Robinson is an insurance policy to guarantee the Steelers will never be exposed. And in doing so, will allow us to take the risk to take us to the playoffs. Steelers, this is going to be awesome. This is great. I love everything about this. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.